The sky over Sakaar bled green, not the hue of natural skies, but the vile, boiling green of raw gamma energy pulsing like a living organism across the heavens. The world cracked beneath Hulk's feet, not because he struck it, but because his very presence had become too much for a single reality to contain. This was no longer the savage Hulk, or the World Breaker, or even the World War Hulk. This was Heart of the Monster Hulk, a being sculpted by rage unchained, a force of limitless fury born from prayers whispered in fear and desperation. Entire worlds had cried out for his return, and the universe had answered terribly. Cities floated in the air, inverted by the sheer gravitational pulse of his fury. Mountains folded inward, oceans boiled. And still, Hulk walked, each step dragging cracks in time behind him. His eyes glowed, not with emotion, but with annihilation. On Earth, Doctor Strange watched through the orb of Agamotto, a tremble in his hands. "He's not just angry," Strange whispered. "He is anger, anger made flesh." Suddenly, alarms screamed across multiple dimensions, alerts built into the multiverse itself, not warnings of magical imbalance, but the collapse of universal constants. Hulk had become something that even gods feared to name, and he was headed for Metropolis. Meanwhile, in the DC universe, deep within the Kryptonian archives stored at Fortress Cadmus, Lex Luthor stared at the anomaly breaking through dimensional walls. The portal wasn't stable, not even close. But whatever was coming through was power incarnate, and not from their universe. Then came the shockwave. Every sensor in Cadmus blinked red, massive gravitational displacement, a rupture in universal symmetry. Then, silence. A crater. The size of a small country appeared where there had once been a research site in the Arizona wastelands. At the center stood a being, not of this world, not of any world. The Hulk had arrived. His breathing was slow but ragged, like he was in pain. Not from injury, but from not fighting, the pain of not smashing. His body burned with gamma energy, so concentrated it made kryptonite look like a sparkler, and the universe responded. Far away, chained in a dark stasis vault beneath Apocalypse, a creature stirred. Doomsday. Not the mindless brute that once rampaged across Earth, but hunter-prey Doomsday, forged in hate and reborn from death, perfected through torment. Each time he was killed, he returned stronger. Now he remembered the hands that once killed him. He remembered pain. He remembered Superman. And he remembered vengeance. But this wasn't about Superman anymore. This was about something worse, something new, something green. Darkseid approached the vault personally, a rare motion. His Omega sigils glowed with caution. "You sense it too," he growled. "Something that should not exist." Doomsday didn't answer. He couldn't. He didn't need to. He only punched the walls of his prison, breaking through them like tissue paper. Darkseid didn't stop him. Let the monster go. Let him meet this intruder. Let chaos feed chaos. In the city of Metropolis, citizens ran as skyscrapers shook and shattered. Hulk's massive frame towered over buildings. He wasn't attacking, he was searching for something strong enough to challenge him, for something to give his rage purpose. Then the sky split again. A sonic boom that shattered satellites echoed through the planet. Then a second tremor. Then a figure crashed from the clouds like a meteor. The pavement cracked. Car alarms exploded. Birds dropped from the sky. Doomsday had landed. His red eyes locked on the Gamma Titan, recognizing instinctively that this was no mortal. Hulk growled. "You look strong," he said in a voice deep and raw like tectonic plates grinding. "I hate strong." Doomsday didn't speak, he charged. The first blow didn't just create a shockwave, it cancelled sound for several seconds. Buildings vaporized. The ground cratered in a mile-wide radius, and both monsters flew backward, and then forward again. This was not a meeting. This was the collision of fundamental forces. Watu. The Watcher raised a single eyebrow. The Spectre turned his gaze momentarily from mortal sins. The living tribunal, in all his multiversal glory, blinked. Even the Beyonder paused. Because something unprecedented was happening. A being of limitless growth had encountered a being of limitless adaptation, a cosmic paradox. In the dimensional cracks between the Marvel and DC realms, gods, demons, and forces of creation watched as Hulk and Doomsday hurled themselves into one another again and again, carving rifts in the space-time continuum. Yet, this was just the beginning. Somewhere within the storm of Gamma and fury, Banner cried out, pleaded with the monster to stop. But his voice was like a leaf in a hurricane. Hulk was no longer listening. This wasn't about Banner, not anymore. "You gave me this heart," Hulk said to no one and everyone, "and now you'll feel it break the world." As the dust cleared after their initial clash, Hulk rose slowly, a smile pulling across his cracked lips. His muscles twitched, swollen with rage, glowing. Doomsday stood tall as well, now adapting. His body had already formed microspines where Hulk's fists had struck hardest. He had never fought anything like this, but neither had he died yet, and that meant he hadn't even begun to evolve. They stared at each other, and then they roared. Not just war cries, but challenges to existence. The true battle had not yet begun, but when it did, reality would never recover. The world stopped spinning, metaphorically at first, then literally. As the heart of the monster Hulk and hunter-prey Doomsday faced off, the very rotational axis of the Earth staggered, tilting by 1/2 degree. Climate patterns spasmed, satellites blinked out, gravity fluxed. Scientists couldn't explain it, but the Watchers knew. The monitors whispered. The Presence and the One above all simply watched. Because this was no longer a battle of flesh. This was rage versus extinction. And the first punch had yet to be truly thrown. Doomsday charged again, this time faster, smarter. His body had already started reacting to Hulk's gamma pulses, forming jagged armor-like plates that glowed a pale green. His fist struck Hulk across the jaw, a blow strong enough to reduce a Kryptonian skull to dust. But Hulk didn't stagger, he smiled. Then with the roar of 1 billion atom bombs, Hulk counterpunched. Doomsday flew backward, no, through the skyline, smashing into 3 skyscrapers before hitting the ground hard enough to crack tectonic plates. The shockwave hit with such intensity that Tokyo felt the quake. But before the dust even settled, Doomsday was up again, unfazed, and now faster. He was evolving. He tackled Hulk with such force that the two monsters pierced the Earth's mantle, carving a hole straight through to the molten core. Lava burst upward in geysers as the two titans brawled inside the planet, surrounded by liquid fire. In the suffocating heat of Earth's core, Hulk and Doomsday wrestled, clawed, bit, and shattered one another. Hulk's skin began to char, only for Gamma to heal it instantly, leaving it stronger. Doomsday's spines extended like spears, impaling Hulk's chest, only for Hulk to grab the spikes and rip them out, then stab Doomsday back. Each scream they released caused magma to ripple across the planet's crust. Volcanoes erupted. The sky in the upper world turned blood red. Then Hulk did the unthinkable. He grabbed the Earth's core itself, not to destroy it, but to use it as a weapon. He spun it just enough to disorient Doomsday, then slammed him through layers of molten iron with a blow that cracked the planet's magnetic field. But Doomsday didn't burn. He adapted. And this time, when he struck back, it was with a punch that sent Hulk flying out of the Earth entirely, through the crust, past the clouds, into space. They clashed on the edge of the stratosphere. Doomsday grabbed a piece of a fallen SWORD satellite and hurled it at Hulk like a meteor. And Hulk caught it and ate it. "I've had enough," Hulk snarled. "Time to end you." Doomsday growled, forming new bone blades from his arms. They rushed each other again. The impact lit the sky with a false sunrise, blinding for miles. Hulk snapped Doomsday's arm, only for it to regrow instantly. Doomsday cracked Hulk's skull, but Hulk only roared louder, stronger, his muscles expanding unnaturally. They hurled each other through orbit, smashing through asteroids, chunks of moon rock, and long-dead satellites. No sound echoed in space, but the impact ripples crossed dimensions, reaching even the astral plane. Dr. Fate clutched his helm. Thor halted mid-battle in Asgard. Zatanna forgot her spell. They felt the fight. Then came the shift. Hulk started laughing. Not out of joy, but clarity. "Every time I hit you, you get back. Up stronger. You adapt," he growled. "But me," he stomped a floating asteroid, shattering it. "I don't adapt. I just get angrier." He screamed, a scream that bent stars. His body expanded. His eyes became pits of gamma light. His skin began to vibrate with power so dense that space itself warped around him. Doomsday charged again, faster, stronger, but Hulk moved quicker. He caught Doomsday mid-leap and ripped out one of his bone spikes, slamming it through his chest. Then, with the full might of a black hole behind his next blow, Hulk punched Doomsday toward Earth. Atmosphere ignited around Doomsday's body as he re-entered the planet at full force, cratering into the Pacific Ocean and displacing so much water the tidal waves surged across continents. Hulk descended, burning, glowing, unstoppable. In the flooded ruins of Australia, Doomsday emerged, weak but adapting. Spikes now covered his organs. His gamma resistance was now total. Hulk's punches didn't hurt him the same way anymore, but Hulk didn't care. He didn't need to outsmart Doomsday. He didn't even need to kill him. He just needed to outlast him. And Hulk had infinite rage to burn. He grabbed Doomsday's skull with both hands and screamed into it, pouring raw gamma force directly into his body. Not energy blasts, his essence. Doomsday roared, trying to fight it, but for the first time, his body couldn't adapt fast enough. Hulk's power wasn't just radiation anymore. It was existential fury. It was anti-order. It was the heart of a monster who could not stop. And finally, Doomsday dropped. Not dead, never dead, but beaten. His body was inert, healing, recovering, but no longer fighting. Hulk stood in the flooded wasteland, chest heaving, body cracked and glowing. The earth was fractured, the ocean surged unnaturally, the moon had a new crater, but the fight was over. Heart of the monster, Hulk looked to the heavens. "I win," he whispered, and for the first time in his existence, he felt no rage, only silence. Doomsday was an extinction-level threat, but Hulk's power wasn't linear, it wasn't predictable, it wasn't evolutionary, it was limitless. And in a battle where adaptation meets infinite escalation, infinity wins.